Imagine for a second if someone described your vision like that. Not as some line in a poem, but as your everyday, moment-to-moment reality. That's the world for someone living with retinitis pigmentosa. And today, we're going to try to understand what that world feels like.
So in this explainer, we're going to go way beyond the medical definitions. We're going to explore the deeply human journey of what it's like to navigate a world where the light is slowly but surely fading away.
To really get our heads around this condition, you first have to try and feel what it's like. And the metaphor you hear over and over from patients is the idea of a tunnel. A tunnel that's just getting tighter and tighter, day by day.
So what exactly is retinitis pigmentosa, or RP? Well, first off, it's not actually one single disease. It's a whole group of genetic disorders, and they all do the same thing. They cause the cells in your retina, that's the part of your eye that senses light, to gradually just break down. It's progressive, and for a long time, it's been unstoppable.
And you hear that number, 1 in 4,000, and it sounds rare, right? But when you do the math on a global scale, that number represents hundreds of thousands of people, each one of them fighting a very personal race against time.
So how does this actually happen? Well, the journey almost always starts with night blindness. One patient remembered, when I was a kid, I couldn't really see walking at night, but I had no idea it was a disease. Then from there, the peripheral vision starts to fade, and that's what creates that classic debilitating tunnel vision. It's like trying to see the entire world through a tiny straw.
But here's the thing. Before you can even begin to fight a disease, you have to know what it's called. And for so many people, this is the first just heartbreaking battle, navigating the labyrinth of just getting a diagnosis.
And this struggle for answers, it is incredibly common. Just look at these numbers from a study in Germany. Nearly a third of patients wait more than 2 years for the right diagnosis. And a quarter, 1 in 4, are first told they have something else, like nearsightedness. That's precious time and money wasted on treatments that do absolutely nothing.
And when you don't have clear answers, you know what fills that vacuum? Desperation. Take the story of Feng Zhibo. Growing up in rural China, his family thought the poor vision he and his siblings had was a curse. So they went to shamans for magic water. His own father risked his life climbing mountains to find snake galls, a folk remedy they hoped would help. It was just this long, painful search for answers that medicine at first just couldn't give them.
So, finally getting a name for the condition, that's one thing. But living with the reality of it, that's something else entirely. This is about life in the shadows, the daily, heavy impact of a world that is literally shrinking around you.
I mean, just think about your day, navigating a crowded street, reading something on your phone, or even just walking from a bright sunny room into a darker one. For someone with RP, every single one of those is a major challenge. It messes with your work, your studies, and just that simple ability to feel comfortable out in the world.
And that psychological journey can be absolutely brutal. Feng Zhibo was so determined to live like a normal person that he tried to do a 230-kilometer trek without his white cane. He ended up falling into a ditch. And that fall, that was a turning point. A really harsh, but maybe necessary moment that started him on the path from denial to actually accepting his reality and the tools that could help him.
And Feng's struggle is not just an anecdote. The psychological weight of this condition is immense, and the data proves it. Almost 75%, 3/4 of RP patients report symptoms of anxiety. Nearly a quarter show signs of depression. This is so much more than a disease of the eyes. It's a condition that hits your mental health hard.
But here's where the story turns, because this is not just a story of loss. Overwhelmingly, it's a story of incredible human resilience. It's about forging a new kind of light when the old one starts to fade.
Remember Feng Zhibo, the man who fell into the ditch? Well, after he accepted his condition, he didn't just cope, he excelled. He became a provincial blind judo champion. To learn a single move, he had to meticulously trace the motion on his coach's body, over and over and over. It took him 10 times longer than a sighted athlete, but he did it. He triumphed, not with sight, but with touch and just pure stubborn determination.
He once shared this piece of advice with another newly diagnosed patient, and it shows you everything about his shift in mindset. He realized the biggest battle was the one inside his own head. The goal of being a normal person wasn't about pretending he could see. It was about mastering his life within his condition.
So while patients are out there forging their own light through sheer resilience, medical science is in a race to bring back the light that was lost. And right now, we are looking at a real horizon of hope.
For decades, getting an RP diagnosis came with this devastating sentence: there is no cure. But that is finally starting to change. In 2017, the very first gene therapy, Luxturna, was approved. And just this year, a brand new therapy for a specific type of RP has entered late-stage trials. What was once unthinkable is now becoming treatable. The pace of innovation is picking up fast.
And you know what? Hope isn't just coming from a lab. The whole idea of what patient care even means is evolving. We're moving from a model where you just get a bunch of medical information on day one to a holistic model that gives you ongoing medical, psychological, and social support. The goal is shifting from just treating the disease to actually supporting the whole person.
Someone wrote this on a social media forum for patients. Just 4 words: I miss stars too. And somehow it just captures everything. The loss, the memory of light, that shared human experience of just looking up at the night sky.
And it really leaves us with this one critical question. As science is racing towards a cure, as we focus on genetic codes and clinical trials, how do we make sure we never, ever lose sight of the person standing right there in the darkness who just misses seeing the stars?
The resilience we've seen is so powerful, and that horizon of medical hope is getting closer every day. Organizations like the RP Light Project are working right at that intersection, supporting patients now while funding the research that can bring a brighter future. If this story moved you, you can learn more about the work they do. Thanks for joining us.